Perhaps the most interesting tab of all this form is, of course, the data. This is where we have actually the data we have collected in the field or the hospital, or maybe whatever we have got. So in this one, you have first of all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different subtabs where you can get data visualized in different ways. The first one is reports. It's a custom report. It's not something that is like super useful, but if you are like in a rush and you want to have a quick look, it's very interesting to have it here. And in custom reports, you have each question. It tells you what type of questions, how many people responded, and how many without data. And then you get a plot with percentages, and then another table with frequency. So already you have some data that you can either export, or you can make a screen capture of this one. You can change the graph for this particular visualization. And yeah, that's it. In the report, you can create custom reports. So for example, I can create a report that is only about number of households using the latrine. I just only want this. And I want to know the contamination, the state of the superstructure, and the construction date. So report construction, and then save. And then we only have these 3 or 4 questions that I have asked for. Okay, and then it's here with the frequency, the percentages. If you want, you can configure the current report, change the colors if you like these colors better, or if you want to group them by camp, for example, or if you want to get them in another translation, you can get that. Okay, and for example, here we have no waste, organic waste, plastic waste, by camp, and all of these things. Then finally, you can print it if you really need to present something. It's not the most glamorous report, but it's really quick to get done, and you have a lot of data, so it could be interesting for some people. You can do it full screen as well. If you want to present something in a screen, you can do it from here quite simply. So this is about the report. Then the table, it's where we can visualize already all the submissions that we have done. Each line is one submission. And then you can see here, this is the submission I have made before for the previous video. And here you can open the submission, right? You can change the language here, no problem. Of course, we have not put all the labels, so the language doesn't show well. I could edit this submission. If this one was not in Madrid, but rather it would be in Bilbao, we can come here and get a new one, and then save it. And now it's saved already in the database. We can close here the window, it says there, and now we can refresh. And sure enough, the coordinate has changed to the one that we have given. Another thing we can do is delete, which I'm going to do because this is fake data, and the data that I'm showing you here is real, is the latrines. And now it's gone. Although this needs to be refreshed, and then it will get out of the way, so to say. More things we can do in this screen. We can filter. We can give validation status. So if you have like an M&E person that is in charge of approving submission, you can submit it as approved, not approved. If it's not good, on hold. If it's like that, you have to check one or two things. You can filter by camp, for example. Here you can filter by if you only want one camp to be shown, it's here. Show all, for example, it's here. And yeah, so this is interesting for that. And then you can have here full screen or display options. In display options, you can have the XML values, which are, as you see here, the machine code machine read codes. Humans, we would read in English or French, so we better get English or French. But for French, there is nothing set up, so it comes with machine numbers. Show numbers of groups in the table if you want to have the groups. XLX tags, if you have created the XLX tags we talked about before, the humanitarian exchange language tags, you can show them or not. And then if you want to freeze one column in the beginning, so it's easy to follow up, you can do it here. Also, you can restrict what values are you going to see here. So if you only want to see the camp, the location, and the village, you can click here and save. And then now you only have 1, 2, 3 things showing up. I'm going to remove because I want them all. I remove. Okay. And as I have one freeze, this one, oh, now it's becoming really big here. This one, it's always, oh, I think I messed up in here. Yeah, there you go. Calculation. Yeah, save. Now everything will show up. Okay. And if I scroll here, you see how the calculation, which is the name of the latrine, will follow with me. So it's very easy to make to see where do I have to make changes. You cannot make changes here. If you want to change this 0, you have to go to here, open, edit, and then here you have to change the 0 for 34 or whatever you need. Okay, it's not super simple to get everything changed, but you can change it. So that's why it's good to have good data from the beginning, so you don't have to mess up with changing data here later on. And this is for the table. Then we can go to the gallery. In the gallery, we have all the pictures that we have taken with using the form. So here we take pictures of the latrine interior, exterior, maybe a hand washing device and shower and things like that. So you can just relax and see them. If you like a particular one, you can click, it gets big. Then you can right click and copy the image and paste it into a report, or save the image as whatever you want. Okay, but perhaps the most interesting thing is that you can download them all. If you click in the export type as media, you could click new export. It will take a while because it's probably a big file, but you will get them all there. And in the downloads, you have different file types that you can download. One is XLS. You can download in different languages, French, English, or XML values like the code for the computer. You can include the group headers if you have groups, and you can include the fields from all 11 deployments. Group separator you can change as well. So what is this is that when you create one of these exports, you get the file with the actual data that you see in the table, like here, right? It's all the data is here. Everything is there. Okay. And then, sorry, if we export it in English, it should be in English. I don't know why it's not. If we export it in English, all the data should be written here in English. I don't know why. Maybe there's a small problem in my form because I created the language and maybe didn't add all the tabs or whatever. You can also get comma separated values, which is like a plain text with commas, but it's similarly. You can then add it up into Excel and do it. Or you can get all the attachments, as we talked before, all the zip attachment, all the pictures, basically. The GPS coordinates, you can get them all here. So you can click here and get them as coordinates. Or you can get Excel Analyzer file, which is very interesting. We will talk about the Excel Analyzer in chapter 8, I think. chapter 8 data analysis. And then SPSS labels I have never used. I'm not too familiar with them, so I'm not going to talk a lot about XLS because I don't know. Then we have a simple map, which is very good for making like decisions very quickly. If you need to I don't know, if you have spatial data, which is the case, you have the general map here. You have zoom in, zoom out. You can also zoom in with double click. Zoom out is minus. The wheel of the mouse doesn't work for this particular one, but it works for this. So you can disaggregate data by camp, for example. So this camp is in Pamba. And then if you click in the submission, you get all the data for this particular one. So this is Chatsuka, Dumba, all the places. You can segregate by any of the things, that number of doors, or you can segregate by type of hand washing device. Not set. Yeah, it's missing some information in these forms. In the display settings, you can click here and make marker color, so you can add new layers. But I have to say, I never managed to make these layers work. Toggle layers, you can choose different maps. So usually you are good with this one. You can hide in full screen if you want to present something. And also, if you are not disaggregated, for example, like this, you can create a heat map. It will show you like the density of dots. So for example, here you have a lot of more dots, and here less. Okay, and that's about for maps.